Zakonito. Probably. Orecchie le pestate. No, I won't. Is it out? I played it, I'm not gonna stream it. I don't think I'm allowed. Yeah, that's what I meant. Dr. Phil, yeah. We're watching Dr. Phil because he has a lot of shit. Interesting stuff. To the ranch! We have this ranch where I can send you and you can recover. Only if you want to. And I'm gonna give you the best support that we can. The best in the country. Hell, I mean, I wouldn't do it, so... Ah, fucking beer. I know you guys have 4,000 fucking beers in Belgium. Only 450? The ranch! I was actually laughing with Irina about your. Remember when she picked on you because she thought you're Ortonado? And remember she was very aggressive towards you? And you're like, but I didn't say anything. And she just kept on bashing you for talking like that about women, and then she found out it's Ortonado. It was fucking epic. Made me giggle. Oh my god. She doesn't want to get involved in my streaming, but then again, she's always fighting the women's cause, you know? People's cause. It wasn't that. It wasn't a misery. You were just being. I don't know. She didn't unleash hell on your ass. But I have to admit, I've been thinking about what you said with me reviewing games, and I don't think I would be a good reviewer of games, not as long as I work with Ubi. Because that's gonna sound like I'm bashing other games. And I know that I have the experience to create an objective review, but I don't think it's appropriate as long as I'm an employee of a different developer. I'm just saying that maybe my affiliation with the developer is gonna make me less credible. So I'm not so worried about what people will say about the reason why I do it. I'm only worried about how much people will give me credit. So I don't think it would be beneficial to me. I'm not worried about what people are gonna say about me or Ubisoft or anything. I'm just worried about the fact that it's not gonna be a credible review because I'm linked to something else. Not that I would shame them or shit like that. It just wouldn't make sense. It would be pointless to make a review because everyone's gonna say that it's a fake review. 1 sig metal, 2 sig metal. But I think it's a very interesting idea to have a review channel like that. But it needs to be an independent effort. And then I can actually say, you know what, I'm totally objective. This is me, these are my opinions, and then it's gonna be closer to what a good review would look like. One, two. Artemis, 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 Artemis. Just two? Okay. One, two, three. Three. Magical. Hello. Welcome back. $60. $7 for Nevan, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. $17. I'm fine. Just enjoying a cold beer. Hope you guys are enjoying the evening. 17. Just working on these will I craft? It's difficult to say. I mean, I definitely have enough suits that I can try some crafts, but I would love to get more before I actually do it. I'm trying to get all my crafters full of items and then the warehouse as well. And right now I don't have that, so I think I need a bit more suits at the moment. fuck it, I clicked that guy. Or wait, are you talking about the Mastercrafts or the Craftsman parts? Because if I do craft anything, it's gonna be regular items into Craftsman. I'm not gonna do Craftsman into Master Craftsman. Not just yet. So it depends on which crafts you wanted to see. Okay, man, have fun with Anno. Let me know how it is. Let me know if you enjoy it. I'm gonna give it a spin as well, but at work. Because I used to love the Anno series. I just I saw a couple of things in Anno 1800 that I didn't quite like. Yeah, sure. Just drop me a message. Maybe I will invite a couple of developers to play with us. Friends of ours, friends of mine. I'm friends with almost everyone at Blue Byte. Somehow. I don't know why. No, not the ships one. Anno is the city simulator. Well, it's a strategy game. They call it a strategy game. The one with the ships is Liberty. Yeah, kind of like Civilization, but it's a bit more like Settlers, because Civilization has a huge branch when it comes to war and just conflicts, but in Anno 90% of the things you do are not a fight. There's just a city simulator. It's a nice franchise, if you wanna give it a spin. Three. Kinshasa. 8 and 2. 50. What the fuck, 100 gloves already? I mean, the +0 ones are just stacking. +0 gloves are probably 60% of all the gloves we have. But the problem is, I have 150 wizard. I have almost 400 blader ones, which is curious because we didn't think that we would get this many wizard and blader. But it seems like most of them are wizard and blader somehow. Can't wait. Cannot wait. I'll be able to craft 100 at a time. Because they also take up less space, so I can craft 50 or 60 maybe. 16, 48, maybe around 52. I can do 52 at a time. So that's gonna go easy. Doi, trei, patru, cinci, șase. Shit. 6, 6, 6, 6. Six. Seven, 8, 9. Da. One, two, 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3 and 2. Woohoo! Xenios rank 9. You go, boy. So this love, so this life. Easy money. Already? You finished your 50? Damn it, man. You sure play a lot. I'm not complaining, I'm just... It's an observation. I wish I had that much time to play. But I'm not 16 anymore. Xenios was able to do 50 volcanic citadels today, which is roughly... You do 6 every hour, let's say. So that means around 8 hours. So he's been doing volcanic citadel for at least 8 hours. And now he's doing Tower of Undead, which means that he gets to play a lot. I know, but we need people like him. And to be honest, if you look at the prices of 4 core pieces and upgrade core pieces, you'll see that they're now at 1.3, 1.2. They used to be 2.5 and 6 and more. But people actually fucking farm now. And this should happen every day, not just during event days. Can you imagine how cheap materials and crafts would be if everyone would play every day as if it was an event? Would be so damn nice. Dr. Phil is pounding some guy that he thinks is smart. He's giving him the D. Oh my god. Hmm? And he's saying Dr. Phil is a fraud. Yay, weapon! Let me clean my sent emails first. So fucking close. So fucking close. 3,500 osmiums. Every day we just get like 500 every day, so it's probably only a week, maybe 2 weeks, and we're done with osmium, which is amazing because level 4 gems actually drains your alls quite quickly. But if we have to start doing Illusion Castle and Sienna 1, those are gonna be level 2 or 3 at best, and that's only 5 gems instead of 17. And you also get more shit from those dungeons, which can offset those 5 or 3 gems that you have to use. So we can start making money while farming, because right now you don't make money. Some of the guys were telling me that it's difficult to keep sending osmiums for no money and at the same time keep running the dungeon, and I fully agree. It's a fucking alls drain. And it was even worse when we did Rena Station on level 5, because you had to spend 2.5 million and then 200 more for the entry, so you paid 2.7 and you got almost nothing because you spent all your time at the cow pit and you had to keep everything that dropped, except maybe a couple of upgrade cores every now and then. But at least now it should be easier. Because I don't think... first of all, I don't think Siena 1 and Illusion Castle 1 above level 3 would be easy to do. But second of all, even if it was, I don't think it's the most efficient type of dungeon, because if you increase it to that level, it tends to give way too many crafts. So we'll have to see. I'm hoping for a level 2, because level 2 is the easiest level you can do without needing a fuck ton of attack rate or defense rate. Because level 2 is the old level 4. And that's kind of easy if you only have damage. You don't need damage reduction, you don't need penetration, you don't need anything for those. Life is passionate, and I'm a fucking idiot. That's what he said. And Dr. Phil is trying to teach the guy some manners, and the guy is like 50. What the fuck is wrong with them? He's a fucking bully. Oh my god, the guy looks like a fucking doll. He had 47... Holy shit. There's something wrong with these guys. Oh, come on. I'm hoping that he selects some of the most outrageous cases, because if that's your average American, then they have bigger issues than showing up at Dr. Phil. Because I'm hoping he selects them. Because there are some fucked up beyond any recovery people in here. Yeah, I mean, I know you have to have rating, but at the same time, holy shit, they have some big issues. And I'm not talking about teenagers, I'm talking about 40, 50-year-old people, 30-year-old people. I mean, these guys are not teenagers. They're not 20. You know, they are like you and me. Yay, coat. No, it's not. Another coat. Fuck yeah. Coats all over the place. Like a fucking trench coat. Skilled. You know what would be funny? if at the end of all this fucking osmium farming and at the end of all the volcanic citadel spamming, we would be getting a drop event. That would be outrageous. I mean, we can still use it. It's not useless, but it's gonna make osmium farming incredibly fast. By then I think we're gonna be needing that for Sig Metal anyway. But would be funny though. Because instead of 20 osmiums every hour, you get like 50, 60. So that's 3 times faster than Seal of Darkness. I would be fucking pissed. Yeah. I actually strongly believe that that guy wrote a ticket. I swear to God, I think he wrote a ticket and he clipped me when I said that I'm using bots. I think he clipped me and now he's reporting me. God, he was dumb. E în greacă. E din Grecia, da. He belongs to Dr. Phil. I don't know, man, but he was very angry. Like, he came accusing me of all the things. He didn't even want to ask. All he did was he wanted to fight. Because he came and said, you have hidden information. You fucking moron. Why did you know about these changes before us? You got connections with the GMs. So like he didn't even ask, did you guys know? Where was it written? No, he wanted to fight me. Just, I know you did this. I'm gonna report you. Prove it. You're guilty. I'm like, fuck off. I don't have to prove anything to you. You prove I'm guilty. I don't have to prove I'm innocent. Duh! I mean, when you're trying to prove someone is guilty, you have to prove he's guilty. He doesn't have to prove he's innocent. Because you're the one accusing. So I was laughing, but at the same time I was like, oh my god. And it's funny because even like I think there were 3 videos in which everyone showed those changes. There were 2 or 3 videos and then you also had Mr. Wormy's comments and everyone fucking knew except him. That's what made it sad. I hope he found those patch notes because otherwise he's gonna be one angry guy. Yeah. One of the things I hate most is people being lazy. No, like everyone reading the patch notes, but they're above that, so they don't have to read anything because you have to tell them what to do and how to do it and so on. Like, that's the most disgusting thing. I'm spending hours and minutes reading the fucking patch notes just to understand what's changing, but you are a fucking baron that just needs to be told how to get your wings, how the craft has been changing. You know, you need to be told everything because you're too good of a man to just read the fucking patch notes like everyone else. No, I just didn't tell them. And I hope they didn't find the answer. I hope nobody helped them. I'm not gonna kick people for that, but I don't have to talk to them anymore either. Or help them. Use the fucking Google. That's why you have access to internet. No. I have a principle of white and black balls. And every time you do something stupid, there's one black ball next to your name. And whenever you do something smart, you get a white ball next to your name. And some folks in the guild have plenty of black balls next to their names. And the more black balls you have, the more chances you have of getting kicked. And definitely the more black balls you have, the more chances of me ignoring you in the future. Even if I don't kick someone. Based on interaction, of course. Let's see. Oh, I got invited to TwitchCon. What the fuck? I don't even know what's happening at TwitchCon. I don't even care. Dr. Phil is GOAT. Dr. Phil is GOAT. Yeah, Chrome loves Dr. Phil. Chrome. Yeah, he wanted to be closer to Dr. Phil. And Dr. Phil neglected him. You're a Dutchman. You don't have any problems. Come on, baby. Give me those suits. The ranch. Does everyone know about the fucking ranch? I'm the only one that had no idea that that's where Dr. Phil sends people. Everybody seems to know. It's a special place full of sedatives. Here, take these pills. Yay! Kill those beetles. Most of them died, I think. The other beetles. Wait, what? I thought this is a 2-slot. Where's Bridget? Bridget loves this fucking music. We need Bridget in our lives. Someone call Bridget. Bridget is out. Ah, no, 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 no. Almost dying. The fuck? Metal time. Fuck that shit. But seriously, Bridget has been trying to teach her guildmates about the benefits of boosting the dungeon difficulty, and those guys which are 15,000 attack ability and more keep saying that increasing the difficulty level of a dungeon doesn't do anything. I mean, seriously, you haven't even fucking tried it. Chaos Cores, I told you, Chaos Cores would reach 2-3 millions. Because all those botted Chaos Cores are now gone. I need to start selling my stocks. But I'm gonna wait until 2.5. Because of earrings. Everyone is fucking upgrading those earrings. Let me show you if Didso's online. See, chaos upgrades 7 out of 12. And we didn't have that many drop events in the past. So now those chaos cores are just being burned through. And everyone has sold theirs, and now prices are just getting higher and higher. Because there's a huge need for chaos cores, and the supply is not that great. Because we didn't have many drop events lately. I think we had 2 or 3 since the beginning of the year. And people didn't get to bot Eka. I need to put mine up for sale again. I know, but you don't need 10 cores, you need hundreds of cores. And I don't think they want to spend hours and hours and hours running Chaos Arena. So suddenly there's a huge need for Chaos cores. If I sell them for 2.5 millions, that's gonna mean 3 more transfers, which is gonna secure gloves as well. I just need to pay attention to the prices. Because I have 7,000 times 3, or even 2.5, I guess. It's gonna mean 17 billions, but that's 2 transfers. I need to double check. Nu, e că trebuie să double check. Ooh. I needed one of those. Well, not those account bound ones. No duck camera. But you get to look at Dante. cause he's lovable and cute. So you get to watch him. No, he likes to stay that way. He just sits like that for hours and hours, not blinking. It's fine, he's alive, it's fine. Don't worry. Evening, beastie. E aici în fața mea. E aici în fața mea. No, he's alive, it's not a picture. I just asked him to stand still. Yep, broken masters, broken cats. No. Nu, adică... Cannot wait to be out of this dungeon. I really wonder at the other dungeons though, because Sienna 1 and Illusion Castle are both 6 or 7 minutes, and that means 6 or 7 chests, which means 1 chest per minute, which is almost as good as Volcanic Citadel, because I think you do Volcanic Citadel in 6 minutes as well, and you also open like 5 or 6 chests. So I don't see why red osmiums would drop far worse than osmiums do. I'm expecting at least 15 or 20 every hour. Maybe it's not gonna be a level 3 or 4, maybe level 2 suffices. And you don't have to duo level 2. Especially if you don't get double the number of suits, then you might as well just solo that shit. I would only duo if it gives me like at least 50% more suits or 50% more 2-slotted. But if I get 20 by myself and then 25 in duo mode, I'd rather just go alone. But if I start getting 30 suits or plus or more instead of 20, I might consider going duo. And we can all sit outside of Sienna 1, and whoever comes out first gets SP and then goes back in. Because we'll be like 7 or 8 people farming it, and that means that we will, every minute there's gonna be someone outside waiting for SP. But you don't need the drop tables. Seriously, you just have to run 50, 100 dungeons and you find out by yourself. You don't even need to read it in any drop table. And drop tables don't tell you how party changes the drop system. So maybe you find out the biggest percentage of drops, but that doesn't tell you you have to do it on level 3 in a party of 5. We didn't get any developer help until now, and we definitely don't need it from now on. It's just you have to run a couple of dungeons and just look out for any kind of feedback that the game provides. You gotta get creative. And definitely not be like those guildmates that Bridget has. Because those guys run dungeons on level 0 probably, and then they draw conclusions based on level 0 and say it's difficult to get 2 slotted osmiums. Of course it is. You haven't done anything above level 0. Or I don't know, maybe they go on level 5 and they expect slot extenders on every box. But it's supposed to give better drops. I think we needed a couple of days to find out which places to run and on which difficulty. Some were already known, other ones we just found out ourselves.
Looking at you through the glass, don't know how much time has passed. Oh God, it feels like forever, but no one ever tells you that forever feels like home. Sitting all alone inside your head. 'Cause I'm looking at you through the glass, don't know how much time has passed. All I know is that it feels like forever, but no one ever tells you that forever feels like home. Sitting all alone inside your head. How do you feel? That is the question. But I forget you don't expect an easy answer. When something like a soul becomes initialized and folded up like paper dolls and little notes, you can't expect a bit of folks. So while you're outside looking in, describing what you see, remember what you're staring at is me. 'Cause I'm looking at you through the glass, don't know how much time has passed.
Of course. Because you take the mobs to a level where they don't drop sig metal anymore. Because after a certain level they don't give you anything but money or crafts or anything else. But that is very specific to very specific dungeons, because different dungeons react differently, because the monsters inside are also of different levels. If you look at Ruina Station, for instance, the mobs at the end of the dungeon give you the Shadow Titaniums. But if you look at Osmium, the mobs at the beginning of Tower of Undead give you the Osmiums until White Ghosts. So sometimes the monster pack is at the beginning, sometimes at the end, because of how level is being pushed and controlled. In Forbidden Island, the mobs are somehow halfway. So if you increase it way past level 3, yeah, they even drop Osmium. So clearly, because Forbidden Island has mobs at the middle of it that give sig metal, if you push it too far away, then you're gonna push all the mobs outside the drop table of sig metal. So it makes sense, but it still has to be tested, because beginning mobs can be modified with higher difficulty levels, and then ending mobs need lesser difficulty boost. Otherwise you spill over into the unwanted areas. I kill absolutely every mobs until the room with the mechanical device before the white ghosts, because that room with the ghost trap is the last place that drops osmiums. Nothing past that point will give you osmiums. So you need to kill everything until Prince... what's his name? The one with the halberd? What the fuck is his name? Yeah, Verzen, yeah. So you need to kill everything in Prince Verzen's room, and until that, and then just rush the remaining of the dungeon. Because after, not even white ghosts give you osmiums. So you just have to wrongly do the quests until Verzen, including Verzen's room, and then you can just rush the dungeon. But the more you kill before Verzen, from the beginning of the dungeon until Verzen's room, are you sure? I did it on level 2, on level 5, and on level 0. And I got no osmiums after Verzen's room. Anyway, that's another example of manipulating dungeon levels. But what's funny with the Tower of Undead is that you can actually see that there is also a map limit, not just monster level limit. Maybe you get the crafted osmiums, but you never get clean slotted osmiums. Because after Verzen you do get osmiums, but they're all crafted. The clean ones drop until Verzen. So maybe that's why you saw osmiums everywhere. And also the trolls will give you clean slotted ones, but it doesn't make sense to do the trolls as well. And I think there is also a modifier when you go with a party. Because I think going with the party shifts you into a different drop table, which is party only. Because there are very obvious differences between your drop table on a given difficulty level alone and the drop table on the same difficulty but within a party. So obviously there's a side table that, or maybe it acts like an extension, like some drops are forbidden while you're alone, and then that extension just allows more valuable things to drop when you activate party mode. And there's only one reason why I think that this could happen, because you have the dungeon default, and then you have the additional chance for an additional drop because of the difficulty level, but that means 3 drops maximum. And maybe when you enable the 4th drop, which is the party one, maybe that also forces the game to enter a new table of drops. That's why Forbidden Island, for instance, wasn't giving that many sigmetal by yourself when you went alone, but then when you started going in a party, you even had to lower the dungeon difficulty to get sigmetals, which is odd, because normally there shouldn't be any need to do that, because the mobs are on the same level. Even when you're alone, even when you're in a party, if you go on level 2 dungeon, the mobs will always have the same level. But when you were in a party and on that difficulty level, you had to lower the difficulty, so obviously the party works as a multiplier. Because you had the same results in a party on a lesser difficulty level, which is quite strange. I need to double check that, but I know that there are differences, and you see it with the discs as well in Rena Station. It's not because of the kill rate, because you always kill the same amount of spawns, like you always have 25 or 26 spawns because of 25 or 26 minutes left, but then when you go in a party with someone, you have way more discs than if you go alone. I went alone and I got 45 or 50 every run, and then when I went with Alex, we had 60, 65. Nah. So clearly there's a multiplier behind it. Just need to find out how it works. Or that. All I know is I get different results going alone versus going with a party. Yeah, but that drop rate is because of the party drop. So it's normal that you got 2 drops almost at all chests. Because you went on level 0, so you gave up on the difficulty drop, but you were always getting the dungeon drop and the charge up drop and the party drop. So the maximum was 3. But because you always got 2, it means that you always had a bonus enabled, either from party or from the charge up skill. Either the charge up was happening more often or the party was processing more often. Because otherwise you should have gotten 1 still. So you do get more drops, but that's because you unlock more drops. That can potentially happen. I just told you it's because of the fucking party, but not the reasons why you think it happens. Because you actually had 2 potential drops, not 1. So it's not because of the party, it's because of both party and charge up. That's why it happens so often, not only because of the party. Because if it was from the party, you would have gotten 3 drops from most chests. Instead you got 2, which means at one time you had the charge up, and then you had the party drop, and then the charge up again, and then the party drop again. It wasn't all drops, all the double drops weren't happening because of party alone. That only played a small part in it. And it's kind of difficult to identify which drop happened. If it's the difficulty one, if it's the party one, if it's the charge up one. But when you isolate the drops, when you go alone on level 0, you know that you give up on the party one and on the difficulty one. So whenever you get a double drop, you know that the double drop is almost... it's always the charge up one. But when you go on a level 3 difficulty dungeon, you don't know if that's the difficulty or if that's the charge up that happened. You only know when it's either 0 or 100%, which means if you go alone on a level 5 difficulty dungeon, you always get 2 drops, and whenever a 3rd drop happens, you don't ask yourself if it's from the charge up or if it's from the party. You know that it's always from the charge up. But if you go with 2-3 people instead of 7 and difficulty 2 or 3 instead of 5, it's very difficult to say which one is the charge up, which one is the party, and which one's the difficulty. Because those are somewhere between 0 and 100%, and we don't know the percentages. So you can only assume that that was a specific one. It's easier when you can isolate them. In your case it's easier, because instead of 3 potential causes you only have 2. Because you said that you went dungeons on level 0, which means that you never had the difficulty drop. But you still had the charge up and the party one. And that's why you cannot say that all drops were modified by the party, because you were always getting party plus charge up drop at each chest, and you don't know which one procced. That's what I was trying to say. I was actually counting the chests in Siena 1, and I was able to predict when I would get a second drop. Because I always got one drop, because I was running alone and on level 0, so I only had 1 drop at any given moment. And after 200 or 300 dungeons, I could tell when I would get a charge up one. Because I noticed the frequency with which it drops. So if you observe, it's kind of easy to manipulate your chests in that regard. You just have to properly isolate the number of chests. And for that, you need to go either on level 5 or on level 0 or in a full party or alone. No, it's not like that. The charge up happens depending on the type of chest that is being opened. Because if you open those low level relic ones, which are the most basic ones, the charge up happens slower. But if you open the red one, the legendary one, like the one at the 2 Tilia twins, that actually is worth 2 or 3 chests, relic ones. That's why when you go to Tilia and when in general when you do Sienna, I saw people just rushing for the Sienna bracelet, for the Sienna piece, but they keep forgetting that they leave behind 2 legendary chests, one at the twins and one at the Tilia twins, because they only kill the first form, open a relic, and then they move on. But the second chest is even better because that's a fucking legendary one, and that is worth more than 1 or 2 chests relic. So you actually want to kill the second form in those bosses because that's gonna charge your charge up drop. So it doesn't have to do with the monsters. Or I did notice that if you go on level 5 you always get 2 drops, but the third one does seem to happen more often on level 5. So the charge up manifests itself more often on level 5 than on 0, because I used to get more 3 drops than double drops on level 0. So I was getting 3 drops on level 5 more often than double drops on level 0. So clearly the charge up was happening faster on level 5. Or at least that's what I noticed. Maybe I had the box drop rate enabled, but I don't remember. Because the charge up is this one, box drop rate increase. This one doubles the speed at which your charge up happens. No, it does not reset. It actually carries over from dungeon to dungeon. So it doesn't matter which dungeon you do. All that matters is which chests you open. And of course, the difficulty of the dungeon seems to increase that. And also box drop rate increase. It is very helpful to know, because if you go to Sienna on level 1 or 2 difficulty, for instance, and you notice that every 7 chests you get a double drop, which can happen either because of the charge up or because of the difficulty level, but let's say it's difficulty level, on level 1 it doesn't influence that much, so let's say that the second drop you get is almost always the charge up. You can also go on level 0 just to confirm. And when you know that the 7th chest always gives you a double drop, you can open the Sienna chest as the 7th one, and then you just open all other chests. But every 7th chest you open a Sienna one, and you get a double drop from it. If you find out the number at which it procs. And as I said, it's a bit more difficult to do that when you have difficulty level between 0 and 5 and party members between 2 and 7. Because usually what happens with the drops, you have a harmonic mean between them, so it's not your average, it's not the usual average, it's a harmonic one. And the difference is, in a harmonic mean, each value is multiplied with a proportion value, so you don't actually get a straight average. You have a weight in the formula, which increases the importance of an element over another, but you still have an average, but you get to choose the weight of each element in your formula. And that's what happens with the drops. That's why when you do a dungeon, whenever you do a dungeon, you want to enable as many drop options as possible. So if there are 4 drops, like the maximum amount of drops is 4, you always have access to the default one and the charge up one, because those happen regardless. But you can modify all 3. You can modify the charge up by buying a box drop rate increase bead, and you can almost double the speed of the charge up. But then you can also control the party drop by going with 7 people, and you can also control the difficulty drop by going level 5. So you do actually have full control over all additional 3 drops that can happen. You just don't know the values, which is annoying at times, but you do get to control every aspect of your drops. You go on level 0 by yourself, you give up on 2 drops, and you only have access to 2. You mostly drop 1, 1, 1, 1, and then sometimes you drop 2. As soon as you take someone with you, you unlock the party drop, and as soon as you go on level 1, at least level 1, you also unlock the 4th drop. So running a dungeon on level 1, which is not that more difficult than a level 0, with a team member, which is not that hard to find, can even give you 4 drops from a chest. And you don't have to split your revenue with 7 people, you only split it with 1 other guy, and you don't slow yourself down that much because you only run it on level 1 instead of 0. So those 2 combined can give you more drops per member. It's all about how many drops you get every minute. That's how you need to count. and almost always you get more drops per minute if you go in a party. And even if you divide that by 2 or 3 or 4, you still get more drops per member on average. Yeah, too bad. But there is a... There's definitely proof that party play is superior to solo play. And it can be proven anytime. On paper and as well as... No, he has to be inside. If he's outside, he doesn't register as a party member inside the dungeon, because I had a party of 7 people, so I should have always had the party drop. And I went on a level 0 dungeon to be sure that I never get the difficulty 1. And I have to say that I never got a double drop. Which means that charge up didn't manifest itself, but at the same time difficulty couldn't have, because I went on level 0. But I should have always dropped 2 items because of the party size being 7. But I only had 1 drop, which means that the 6 others that were outside the dungeon weren't counted as being part of the instance. So all of them have to be inside. That's why it's not a good idea to start the dungeon with 2 people and then have the other 2 join at the end or some shit like that. You have to take them in and ask them to stay in spawn if they have to go AFK. They shouldn't join halfway through the fucking dungeon, because that's when you minimize your drops for the time that they are outside. You have maximum drops when all of them are inside. Yes, it does make a lot of sense. But if you ask any 20-30,000 attack ability player, he will tell you to go solo, because you make more money. And it's been proven countless times that you do not make more money. Because if you divide 100% to 1 player, of course you get 100%. But if you divide 220% across 2 players, you get 110%, which is more than 100. And because of the fact that you go with a party and you unlock additional drops, you almost always get 200+% drops, because the party drop will give you +1, the charge up will happen more often, +1, so that means on average you get 2-3 drops every chest, which is more than the one you get when you go alone. And because you go with a party, you can also increase the difficulty without slowing yourself down that much, and that enables all 4 drops to happen. So most of the time when you go with another guy on level 4 or 5, you can expect 2, 3 and sometimes even 4 drops, and that's almost double the value that you would get by yourself. It's fucking mathematics. It's not even... And you can actually prove this yourselves. You don't have to trust me. It's quite easy to prove. Da. Încă nu. No, no camera today. I have guests over. And I will have guests over for 1 month and a half. Starting tomorrow. So, probably no streaming. I don't know. Well, I know he's farming, I don't know if he's an entertainer.
What is it really? What's going on here? You got the system for total control. Now is there anybody out there? Now watch yourself for you, cause we can't go. What is it really that is in your head? What little life that you had just died. I'm gonna be the one that's taking over. Now this is what it's like when worlds collide. You ready to go? Cause I'm ready to go. What you gonna do, baby, baby? You going with me? Cause I'm going with you. That's the end of all time. What is it really that motivates you? The need to fly or this fear to stop? I'll go along when you realize when we get there I see 9 or 10 drop. Now who's the light and who is the devil? You can't decide, so I'll be your guide. And one by one they will be chosen. Now this is what it's like when worlds collide. You ready to go? Cause I'm ready to go. What you gonna do, baby, baby? You going with me? Cause I'm going with you. That's the end of all time.
You are a robot.
So fucking blow those.
There's just so much goddamn weight on my shoulders. All I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Supposed to be happy, but I'm only getting colder. Wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside. There's just so much goddamn weight on my shoulders. All I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Supposed to be happy, but I'm only getting colder. Wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside.
There's a demon inside. Just like Jekyll and Hyde. All this anger inside. I feel like Jekyll and Hyde.
Is there so much goddamn weight on your shoulders that you can't just live your motherfucking life? The story's getting old and my heart is getting colder. I just wanna be Jekyll, but I'm always fighting Hyde. You got rocks in your head, I can hear them rolling round. You can say that you're above it, but you're always falling down. Is there a method to your madness? Is it all about pride? Seems everyone I know, they got a demon inside.
There's a demon inside. Just like Jack
your body alive. Do me a favor, your behavior is just a reason why there is no savior. When you're wasted, let's face it, there's a side of you that knows you're a failure, lives for the danger, feels like an enemy but looks like a stranger. So do me a favor, your behavior is just a reason why there is no savior. When you're wasted, let's face it, there's a side of you that knows you're a failure, lives for the danger, feels like an enemy but looks like a stranger. I don't mind my old dead story, and I don't wanna lie to you. I know my glory will never be the same as truth. By now,
in sight.
Priest, are you there? Can you hear my voice? Do you hear my prayers? Are you out there? Forgive me, priest, for I have sinned. Mother, I am here. I can hear your song. I can feel your fear. He's done you wrong. The temptation fed his own desires in the ring of fire. Forsake you, Mother, there's no reason to regret. I heard the bells and I just knew an angel once, now a ghost of you. Deliver me from my own desires, from a ring of fire. Tonight I would have loved you for 1,000
tried to carry you and make you whole, but it was never enough. I must go, and who is gonna save you when I'm gone? And who watch over you when I'm gone? You say you care for me, but hide it well. How can you love someone not yourself? And who is gonna save you when I'm gone? And who watch over you when I'm gone? And when I'm gone, who will break your fall? Who will you blame? I can't go on and let you lose it all, more than I can take. Who leaves your pain? Ease your pain. Snow is on the ground. Winter's come. You long to hear my voice, but I'm long gone.
Your turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Your turn to pick. Your turn to pick.
The strokes of my brush mark your fate.
Prepare for battle.
This contest is in the bag. You die, yet your failure lives on.
30 seconds to battle. The battle begins.
my time comes. Theirs comes to an end. As befits my artistry. Strong take what they desire. Impossible. By whose hand? You die, yet your failure lives on.
Welcome me.
Mars the Invader! I lift my brush.
attack. Your middle tower is under attack.
Bounty.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Nothing so trivial could ever stop me. Nothing impressive about you in the end.
Your middle tower has been denied.
Thank you. You should have known better. My people will wash
Are fortified.
Mine is
Your
truly a
top
blessed
tower
life.
is under attack.
Our enemies deserve an audience.
Your top tower is under attack. Your bottom tower is under attack.
This will
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
my brush
Your top tower is under attack. Your top tower is under attack. Your top tower has fallen.
I'd like to see what I'm working on.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Too noisy to live.
enemy's top tower has fallen.
Ending from miles away.
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
A coat of armor. Let my work continue.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack. Dire structures are falling. Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen.
Glorious day!
Your top tower is under attack. Your top tower has fallen. Your top shrine has fallen. under attack.
Your page in history is.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Your top tower is under attack.
Yup. $16. $24. $28. $31 and 2. Thank you. 31. Well, we got 3 suits. Out of 50 something crafts. So it wasn't a totally useless day. It was just more of a not so excellent day, but wasn't a failed day. I don't understand what people do in fucking Dota. They play heroes that they cannot play. They play positions that they cannot play. And their decision making is shit. As a core player. I don't know what they do. No, it wasn't even intentional. They didn't fucking understand what was happening. I mean, I was pinging, get back, move there, do that, do this. If I as a support can fucking see what's happening on the map, you as a core position should also be able to see what's happening on the map. Because you're supposed to be the more experienced guy. That makes a split-second decision. All they did was fuck around. $50 out of 50. Yeah, boy. Let's see. So I never got a bike, I never got a board. I got a slot extender. Accessory. Seriously? Yeah, well. quickly eat some stuff before going in.
Oceaner, this is move of the week. I'm gonna do an attack from the guard. Some of you have been, I guess, emailing in. I don't check it, but people tell me you guys want more attacks. So I'm gonna do a little combo choke. You guys are gonna be like, wow, that's really basic. It is, it's very basic. All my stuff is very basic. So this is Yoshi. I'm gonna do it with a closed guard. On a big guy, it's hard. But once again, I'm always gonna get my hand deep in the collar. And if I can, I'm always gonna set it up in a double attack and go for a choke, right? So I got my choke, go high guard, and then an arm lock, right? But sometimes
Weed's getting a bad rap. I don't mean like a blunt rap. You know, I mean, people talk. You know, people talk shit about it. You know, marijuana affects the memory. That's bullshit. I never forget to smoke. So weed makes you stupid. It doesn't make you stupid. It makes you smarter. All right. Been smoking weed since high school. I grew up in San Gabriel Valley in LA. We had what's called off-campus lunch. I don't know if you remember that. That's where you can go off campus, smoke weed, eat, and then you have to come back for some reason. So one time I came back lit, and we had intermediate math. I had intermediate math after lunch, right? And one time I came back lit, and we had to take a test in fractions, a little pop quiz. And one of the questions on the test was, what's the difference between a quarter and an eighth? I wrote $50.
Pretty much everybody smokes pot when you think about it. I just found out my 15-year-old cousin smokes pot. What the fuck? 15-year-old wants to be an adult before he even grows up. I want to try to help curb the habit, discourage him from really turning it into something bad. So I told him I smoke a little. Didn't expect the reaction. His eyes got so big, like so excited. He was like, dude, Adam, dude, you smoke weed? Dude, how have we not smoked together yet? I was like, dude, how have we not smoked together yet? 5 years ago, you were 10. What the fuck are you talking about? You just started using deodorant, man. Take it easy. Plus, I have this rule. I can't smoke pot with anybody who didn't grow up watching DuckTales. That's just one of my rules about smoking weed. Yeah, that's a good rule. DuckTales. Yeah, they're the potheads. That's how you find them. Yeah, I knew you were in here.
Today, I just renewed my weed card. Thank you. My second card. My first card I got 3 days into being in Los Angeles. I didn't even have an apartment yet. My first purchase was a weed cookie. I got an edible. And it was the coolest thing I'd ever gotten up to that point in my life. Because I'd never seen branding on drugs. It had a logo. Aunt Mabel's weed cookie. Oh, I trust this. She's family. Underneath it, it said per dose, eat 1/3 of a cookie. Who eats 1/3 of a cookie? I eat all the thirds of a cookie. You're not gonna have me eat 1/3 of a cookie now I'm high and I'm hungry and I'm staring at 2/3 of a cookie? That's not happiness, that's Hunger Games. And I ate the whole cookie. Woke up 2 days later, about 1.5 miles from my house, feeling refreshed. I'm gonna get out of this ditch and get on with my day.
My friends smoke weed all the time. My boys, like my guys I hang out with, they are heavy weed smokers. Heavy. And they all have girlfriends and wives, not girlfriends, girlfriends and or wives. That won't let them smoke at home. So now my house has become the designated weed smoking house. Yeah, they just called me up out of nowhere, like, hey man, what you doing? Called me up for no reason. What you doing? I'm like, I'm in here watching the game. Got a pound coming over. Then they get high and they get into these deep philosophical weed discussions. I don't know if your friends do that. Like that's when they want to have like a Wolf Blitzer CNN discussion when they high. But it's always bullshit. It comes out of nowhere. It's like, ew. If you was invisible, which ex-girlfriend's house would you rob? And my other boys over here, he thinking about it too. Oh, that's deep, that's deep. See, it don't work like that. It don't work like that because technically you invisible, right? But the you steal is not. So now it's a TV just floating down the street. Oh, that's how they caught me last time.
My mom she actually came out here and visited me once, and she kind of got into my medicinal marijuana. My bad, because I've got glaucoma and can't see any of you. But she came out here and visited me. I took a shower. I thought I hit everything. But the Southern woman is like a fucking honey badger. They will dig through anything. They're just like, just looking through it. I got out of the shower. I looked really good. She's just standing there. She's like, Justin Douglas Martindale, what is this? The full name. Right? She's like, I've raised you better than this, mister. I cannot believe you brought this in your house. I've been through thick and thin with you. Jesus has cried for you through thick and thin. I cannot believe you would even... God damn, that shit hits hard. What is that? Is that an indica, a sativa? What is that? Purple Rhino, Mystic Haze, Sad Substitute Teacher? What's that called?
If you're gonna do drugs, smoke weed. Seriously, right? Exactly. I don't judge. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen if you smoke some weed? You're gonna eat a couple of Twinkies and drive really safely.
White people, you have good weed. And I commend you because you use discretion. You get your weed from somebody called a guy. I don't know who this guy is. You can ask any white dude anywhere. Where you get your weed from? I get it from this guy. I see him on Tuesdays. You want me to pick you up something? That's all you get. Ask a brother, yo dogs, where you get your weed from? From my cousin. He at the Holiday Inn right